I met Jesse during one of Paul Levy's dream groups, a kind of game of the psyche where a bunch of people sit around and act the way that they would act if they had suddenly become lucid in a dream. I found him instantly compelling. He was such a weird little mix of things. Artistic, autistic, irreverent, hilarious, ticking, with something almost like Tourette's, and an extremely keen and insightful understanding of human dynamics. When I told him about this project, he opened up a whole new area of him that I had never known about. Although he had told me a lot about his somatic experience while practicing endless hours of kung fu and qigong, I had never known the ways that this expanded into his experience with sex, masturbation, and women. And thankfully, he opened up and shared a little bit with me on camera. So here he is, an amazing specimen of a profound and unique energetic system who is learning and exploring how to cultivate and harness the tremendous gifts that come along with being who they are.
And being able to talk to women and pick up women. It's not a thing that you know how to do. It's something you learn how to do. And the same thing happens with our ability to talk about sex. And I don't know why everyone wants it to be so awkward. And I only come with like super awkward or super reserved, and that's the autism thing of like, I'm so socially terrified to engage with anyone that it's either complete nothing, like I wouldn't have came and asked you to continue our conversation from before, because I would have just made myself socially unavailable in some form and then occupied myself with doing something that I needed to do. And instead, I'm on camera and I'm going to say whatever about sex with complete honesty. It was actually after I started seeing people, like doctors that I trusted, on like, we're going to talk about some ADHD and shit. I don't need no fucking meds. I don't need diagnosis shit. I don't need blah, 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 but let's talk. And it became a really useful tool for analyzing how things work, not a moral equivalent of why they work. Yeah, so you've got ADHD like a motherfucker. It doesn't matter if you're right all the time and you know what the other person's gonna say. Don't finish their fucking sentence. You could be verbatim channeling their thoughts. You have closed down an ability to communicate by finishing their sentence. So I am at all times going, don't finish the sentence. And for me, it's like the ADHD and autism and the spectrum, the whole thing, I explored it looking at it as a tool of my own psychology for what can it mean about how I operate. And that's when I came in to realize, like, holy shit, like raccoons use as much of the brain for physical touch as we use for sight. And I think I got raccoon hands. I'm raccoon wired. And so it's all like kinesthetic learning. And I'm all just like gooey in here. And then the Tai Chi and the Taoism only makes it more and more and more. But I also don't know, like, if that was just a natural thing, because although, like, yeah, I definitely, my masturbatory practices growing up was so much naturally just doing edging, like coming back and not coming and not coming. And eventually you separate orgasm and ejaculation on your own that way. But I think it was definitely through, I don't know, because, yeah, it was years of practice. But now, like, I can just orgasm without anything. Like Harry Met Sally scene. And it's a lot of mojo and energy to channel. And I like to do it on stage at stripperoke once in a while and sing at stripperoke, and I put more current through my body than it can handle. And I don't know how to bill it or put myself marketed on stage, or if I should, because I don't actually trust myself completely with unchecked power. And that's why I need a good priestess. Ah! I need a good woman. But is this just me creating a new pedestal for women? Ah! Shit, it is. So it removes me from having to make decision or have absolute power by just saying there are by default a harem-worthy number of a coven who could just take all that power and direct it, and then it's their job, and they'll be smarter about it because they're women. What the fuck is that? Like, no, it's all in here, so that's why I'm working on all the feminine me stuff channel and doing the celibate thing, and it's actually not driving me crazy, and it feels so funny and fun. I'm making rainbows in here. It's kind of like, I know I'm sensory addicted, and women is its own thing as far as sensory addiction, and then a real person connection, like an actual person connection. But when your honest selfish desire is for them to unlock pleasure, like unrelinquished, just like no boundaries of their own at all, that's an addiction into itself. So yeah, I'm addicted to definitely that. I don't know what I'm doing different. I just do my shit. But as for a technical replay, apparently, and this is from girlfriends like later telling me back, where it's like, apparently I don't, like, most guys are maybe good with a varying degree of whatever, like whether they can make you come at all or super fast or a lot at all multiple times, or just keep an orgasm going for 30 minutes or whatever. Maybe it's because they don't want to try hard, or they don't know how good that shit is. I don't know. But then if they do, it's a question of whether or not they're good with their mouth or their hands or maybe their dick, or like, shouldn't you be able to do any of those things with all three of those things? And I definitely know that, like, I'm better at anal sex because of all the anal sex that I've had. So it's no end of, like, there's no desire on, like, the guy's part to not like, it's taken me to another end, definitely, where I'm like, yeah, like, I'm not stopping because I know exactly what you're going through, not because I don't know. It's not this naive thing, and that bridges this realm of trust. I don't know, maybe if more men were exploring their own bisexuality, if they have that, or if they had a place to explore what that touch is like. But I also, every girlfriend has told me I don't kiss like a man. So also, I've had to think about for a long time the fact that, like, I've never felt right as a guy, essentially. Growing up, I always, and to this day, I sit cross-legged, not like guys sit, but like, I did it! Like women sit. And it's so much, I mean, like when you said the autism thing, and I'm like, it sucks. It sucks because now it doesn't. Holy Christ, like, I've been on the celibate me thing and gotten through so much of it that I don't have seizures now. And for years, if, like, I didn't know the whole time I was married, because we were having sex, like I said, like 5 times a day minimum for 5 years. Then we had kids and it slowed down some from there. But, like, and then I started to go crazy. And it was just that I found out over time, like, if I'm having sex, I sleep. And if I don't, I'm insane. And it's technically restless leg syndrome, but it's full body. However, it's so intense that it looks like petit mal seizures, bordering grand mal. From lovers, they're like, there's a point during the sex, and during that, like, it's usually, like, deep penetrative orgasms, like, hours in to, like where you can actually break the laws of physics and shit. During those times, they're like, my brain shuts down. I said, like, I've been told, like, there's nothing there, nothing else. It's just nothing. Like somehow I feel like, I swear to God, what you're experiencing pushing into me every time is blank and nothing, and is like white light, like a star or something, and it's all I am, or all I'm experiencing in that moment, and it's like blissful, but it's blank, and it's not like anything I've had in meditation. It's not like anything else. I wonder, is that just having a blank state of mind that normally women don't have, because their brain is doing so much, and instead you put it into the physical body of what it's experiencing so much and so deep in your center, that your actual consciousness does finally leave in some form. And I don't know, that's definitely an addiction for me. So I could say I want it to look like that, but I don't know, or maybe I should work on having healthy sexual relationship practices that I can find out are sustainable before I work on putting them into film. Or am I going to put myself in my own feedback loop? Again, I need a good woman. A good woman knows what she wants, and she doesn't she doesn't need someone with a possibly questionable moral sphere to take her down any path because it feels a certain way. Or if she does, she's through that shit on her own. A lot of people do it through drugs, but girls do it through sex practices. I had been abused as a kid, like, all that shit was weird and on way too early. Knowing that, like, what happens to people who've been abused? They either become the abuser or they stay fucked up all their life. I'm pretty functional. My head went through some weird shit, and my own internal psychology was like realizing that technically I don't actually have boundaries. They're all already gone. I've just always known, like, well, that's wrong, that's right. And maybe that's why I've been so driven towards seeing women's pleasure. Like, because there's no mystery to the rainbow for me. Like, I see shit that is not human, and always have. I just mean, like, dating people and being like, it's a deal killer for me when the girl's like, I need you to call me dirty during sex, or I love being called a whore. That's great, but it can't be an every time thing. If it's your word and it works for you, I'm pretty willing. I'll do what, like, I'll play along, but it's not going to be my thing. I want to tell you you're beautiful after I break you from orgasm. Like, that's my thing. I want to do that selfishly. Out. Like, I'm not saying I'm great with it, even when I was trying to learn pickup and stuff, like, for striking out hundreds of times, which is what fucks dudes up, seriously. Women want us to come up and talk to you, and then pretend like it doesn't hurt when nobody gives a shit, and then be a creature who understands their feelings. Eventually we just go, fuck you, fuck all of you with your bullshit. And then you suddenly like us more, which is really weird. And as soon as we start acting that way, girls sit around and talk to us and go like, do I look right now? And then we lose even more respect, but we play along because it's better than jacking off. That is how rape culture is created. Like, men are idiots, and I think women need to educate us. So, like, women should maybe approach first and buy somebody tequila. But I don't know why, and I was just going to say, sorry, all the time that I approached first, carried a conversation that was genuine, fucking didn't offer to buy a drink until it was actually fun and mattered, like, just hanging out wise. Like, carried the escalation, not because it was even natural, but because I was just in the zone and could do it. Brought the girl home, gave her the best sex of her life, according to her, like half-hour orgasms at least, like hours of amazing sex. Yeah, how many times did I get my dick sucked? The answer is 0. 0. Because girls suck your dick when you shove it in their fucking face. Like, apparently, that's feminism now, is that genitals are one-sided business. Feminism means getting your pussy eaten all the time, but never sucking a motherfucker's dick. I don't know what that's about. So I guess to me, a good woman has dismissed all such bullshit definitions of anything, and is like, you're goddamn right I suck a fucking dick. takes pride in it the way that men should take pride in being able to please their partners.
And I've noticed, especially in terms of gifts, like a lot of people have